In this lesson, you will learn how to scan SAP controls using XScan and create modules. You will also learn how to rescan the modules. In the last lesson, we got an overview of the Tosca commander XScan. In this lesson, let's see how to create an SAP module containing the fields we need to steer the application or transaction we're working on. With the XScan window open, you can see all available fields listed on the left pane. Using the filter option, you can also access controls that are not necessarily visible on screen. After logging into the SAP application, we start with transaction code VA01. Let's say I need the text boxes from the sales order page in our SAP GUI. I would add a check mark next to these controls in my object tree to select them. Another method of adding the controls to the module is to use Select on Screen. I can go directly to the page and click on the control I need. If the controls you are selecting are not aligned with the actual control position on screen, then you must check your system resolution is set to 100% zoom, and if you are scanning a web-based application like SAP Fiori, make sure that the browser zoom is also set to 100%. After adding each field, a green message appears, indicating that the selected item is unique. This means that the selected control is uniquely identifiable at the time of the scan. On the right-hand side, you can see which technical properties have been identified by Tosca to identify that object. Also, check marks indicating which properties will be used to identify the object during automation. You can use an unlimited number of properties for identification. However, we recommend only using those that are necessary and stable. This is because when you run your test, these properties must all be found in the same state in order to identify your object properly. The more properties you select for identification, the greater the chance that one of the property values is dynamic or has changed and the control will not be found. This may make maintenance more difficult. Identifying an object by its own technical properties is the most stable method and is completely independent of resolution or zoom settings. Some items might not be uniquely identifiable while scanning. To see an example of this, let's move to SAP Fiori. This control is not uniquely identifiable outright. We can make it uniquely identifiable by changing the properties Tosca uses to find the count button on the page. In addition to identifying a control with its own technical properties, there are 4 other identification methods. Identify by parent, identify by anchor, identify by image, and identify by index. These identifications are rarely used in the SAP GUI as the application itself is almost completely uniquely identifiable. However, you can learn more about these methods in our course Automation Specialist Level 1. Once all of our controls have been added and they are all uniquely identifiable, we can name our module. Give it a name that describes the module's purpose or page scanned. We're now ready to save our module. This works in the same way regardless of whether you are scanning the SAP GUI or Fiori on a browser. The module created is now visible in Tosca Commander. If we need to make changes to controls that have already been added to a module, update a module after changes to the application, or add new controls that were not added to the module originally, we can use the rescan function. To rescan a module, we need to have the SAP application or Fiori page open on the desirable page. Now we need to select the relevant module and right-click it. select Rescan. Now, XScan will automatically detect the open window of your application, so you don't have to select the application window again. By default, the XScan window will show the list of the previously selected controls. These controls can be deselected, added, and their identification method can be changed. Once we are done with the modifications, we can save the scan. This will update your existing module. You have now learned how to create modules, and these will be the building blocks for your automated test cases.